balls to the wall, man. That's right. Welcome to the show. This is the Balls to the Wall show here on this particular Friday night as the Mighty Moose Girl is off at a bluegrass festival, the Moon Dance Festival up there near Green Bay, Wisconsin. So it's just me here tonight. Hopefully that'll work for you. It's not, I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, welcome to the show. It is July 21st, 2017, and this is Balls to the Wall with Grimnir on rlm-radio.com. Yes, indeed. Also on the audio stream, the rlm-radio audio stream, which can be found on reallibertymedia.com or rlm-radio.xyz or on the RLM TuneIn channel or on the RLM Internet Radio channel or who knows where. It could be anywhere at this point in time. But tonight, like I said, you should be over here in the chat on Real Liberty Media, which you can find on the show page on reallibertymedia.com under the show pages there, or on the tuner on the front on channel 1. Yeah, we're there. And you can tune into the video, and there's the chat right below that. If you're not a IRC-friendly type person that knows how to connect to irc.fredo.net and jump on into the pound Real Liberty Media channel and say howdy to all the folks that are here. Either way, one of those ways will get you there. Come on over, say hi, say howdy, and let me say howdy and hi to all the folks that may be listening in various spots around the interwebs. You folks over there on Freedom's Network, anybody tuned in over there? I don't know, hard to tell. You guys are a quiet bunch, I'll tell you that. But you're good guys, one and all. One and most, I should say. There may be a few exceptions who shall remain nameless on the Freedom's Network. But welcome to you. Anyway, regardless, if you're tuned in, hi, howdy, good to see you. Good to have you here with us. And we have our folks over, or not our folks, but somebody's folks, other folks in the corner pocket on the Crush and Run network, which is Sock Puppets network over there. So howdy to you folks, anybody that may be tuned in on that channel. Again, a fairly quiet bunch. Hard to say. I mean, they got like 40 people in there, but they don't talk all that often. It's not like the Real Liberty Media channel where people just ramble on and on for hours. But it's good rambling. Anyway, so howdy to Barman, yes, the ever-present Barman, Mr. Cowboy Tech, myself, Miss Kate Asmo. Wake up, Asmo, it's balls to the wall time, man. Anyway, yes, On's free zone can be appealing. And did I say that out loud? Oh, darn. Anyway, hey, Beth and Cal Fidelity and Chloe, who's out there rolling them up so we can smoke them up. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, Grams, you still awake? We got Don C and the Java Doctor and JJ's, who's no doubt asleep over there in Scotland, excuse me. He'd kick my ass. Well, he'd try anyway. Anyway, from Scotland, North Force and Paul Bunyan, the Fluke Bot, RLM Fluke, Rob Works, who's loads up that little pipe that he has, Rome's, a.k.a. Trust No One, Vincent Easley, and Beetle, you still awake? You still out there? I don't know. Whatever, BTC Bob and Colfax and Dimma. Flash, who's probably not awake yet, probably will wake up sometime during the show. He's over there in the Netherlands. Frumpy and that's that MM bot that can't quite get his connection figured out. Want a taco? Did you give me a nickel today? I think I'm down a nickel. Want a taco? Kozu and Moe. I don't know that person. Howdy, Moe, whoever you are. New person there. Phantom Link, Pone Sauce, Rain and Sock the Puppet, and a couple of bots there, and Vil E _ whoever else may be around. I don't know who's all around out there. Anyway, on and on and on and on and on. Yeah. So But Hans, too, he'll probably be around sometime this evening as well. He can be fun to play with. he can be quite the entertainment, whether he knows it or not. Yeah, that's right. He's working at Starbucks. Anyway, and howdy to all you people on the audio stream. You know who you are. Oh, that's all right. I got a bucket full of nickels. Well, I'm going to start playing some music, and we'll come back. I'm sure I got some stories lined up to talk about if I find anything interesting in what I stuck in the old read it later thingy. Yeah, I don't use Pocket anymore. I use it's not really called read it later. I don't know what the name of it is. It's a thing. It's a thing that I have that lets me basically works like read it later. Anyway. I know that's exciting, but whatever. Anyway, we're going to kick it off here with a little bit of Beth Hart and Slash. Huh. Interesting combo.
Slash is on stage. How you feeling out there, everybody?
Great. How you, Beth?
It's a pretty amazing thing to see Los Angeles come together like this to help.
Yeah, that's the soulful Doyle Bramhall II, or Doyle Bramhall II, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. The Veil there from Moulin Blues, which was only a month and a half ago, something like that there. Excellent stuff. Before that was a sock puppet request. Before that was Rory Gallagher and the McAvoy Blues. And we kicked it off with a Slash and the Beth Hart doing Zepp's A Whole Lot of Love at George Lopez's Help Haiti. Now, I don't know about that particular show, but I think we know what happened to most of the funding that was raised for Haiti. It was all stolen by the Clinton Foundation. Yes, indeed. They were down there doing all that good for themselves and for nobody else but themselves. So, anyway, there's that for you. Boy, I gotta load up a few more songs here for the next set. I don't know what I got more of. I can't see it because it's below my other window, but I'll take a look in a second or two, see what I got more of, and tell you whether or not that's even accurate. Music collection. I've got a decent music collection. Oh yeah, very decent one. I don't know if I've got the most or anything like that, but I've got a pretty good one. It's the kind of stuff you could play for a couple of months without ever stopping and never repeat a song. Yeah, probably get a good 6 weeks just out of blues. Yeah, so it's nice to have what you need at your fingertips on your hard drive or wherever you may need it or have it or want it. So exactly, Sock. Never let a disaster go to waste. And if you can use that disaster to really? Oh, okay, I'll do that one. Yeah, if you can use that disaster to enrich yourself at the expense of others, that apparently is the methodology, the thinking of those guys. Oh, I don't even have a story. I should find the story. It doesn't matter. I'll just tell you. I just heard a little blurb on the news out of Albuquerque earlier. A couple of days ago, I think it was a couple of days ago, some guy in Albuquerque had apparently called a taxi to his house. When the taxi got there, he reached inside the taxi and he grabbed some bag that was on on the front seat there inside the taxi. And the taxi driver gets out and comes around and says, "What the hell are you doing taking my bag here? Didn't you just call me out here?" He says, "Well, I called a taxi, but I didn't call you. The Illuminati sent you." And some kind of skirmish went on. Anyway, the guy that had called the taxi apparently pulled out a sword and stabbed the taxi driver through the chest there. And then he's talking to the cops later. And he's all this Illuminati stuff. How the Illuminati's been following him for months. They're out to get him, and this guy worked with the Illuminati, and inside the bag that he grabbed there was a bunch of Illuminati stuff, according to him. Now, they didn't tell us what was actually inside the bag, or whether the taxi driver was actually Illuminati, which seems kind of hard to believe. Some random unknown guy in Albuquerque that the Illuminati was out to get him, and intercepted his taxi call and sent out an Illuminati driver. Anyway, apparently another taxi driver pulled up, picked up the bad guy, and hauled him down to the hospital. How's my water? Well, I don't have Albuquerque water. They got their own water over there. So they probably have different stuff than we do, for sure. The water that we get is out of an aquifer here in the Estancia Valley, and it is pushed through the local treatment plant, but I have a good filter, so I don't have to worry so much about that stuff. Yeah, another exactly sock puppet. I came across this story the other day, and it's on 11alive.com about a guy in Seattle. Suburban Seattle man arrested for DUI. Had 54 times the legal limit of marijuana. According to the story here, a 53-year-old Linwood man arrested for DUI had more than 54 times the legal limit of THC in his blood system. Or he had too much blood in his THC system, whatever. Anyway, THC, for those of you that don't know, you're probably not here, is the active ingredient in marijuana. He was arrested on May 20th near King County in Sonoma County, blah, blah, blah. The driver is also believed to have been involved in a hit-and-run before being stopped. Believed to have been. We don't know for sure. Believed to have been, according to the Washington State Pigs. Witnesses called the police to report the hit-and-run and followed the driver until the pigs arrived. Troopers arrested the man, obtained a warrant to conduct a blood test. When the test came back, they showed the driver had THC levels reaching 270 nanograms. The legal limit is 5 nanograms. Now, here's the problem. We don't know what I couldn't tell you how many nanograms in person A's blood is going to make them do weird shit versus person B, but I'm pretty sure 5 nanograms is nothing. And so them saying it's 54 times, and I think I pointed this out in the chat the other day, if you had 54 times the limit of alcohol, which is 0.08, in your blood, you would be dead. You would be freaking dead. There would be no question about it. You would be a corpse. 54 times the limit of alcohol, and there would be nothing left of you for them to haul off to jail. So they just come up with these numbers. Yeah, you'd be dead long before you got to 54 times 0.08, because that would be like 4. If 1.0 is full alcohol, this would be 4.0 if it was alcohol at 0.08 times 54. So, yeah, you'd have to have the whatever super saturated blood. I don't even know how that works. Anyway, they go on to point out in this article here that in Washington in 2015, drivers who used marijuana made up for 91 of 499 fatal crashes. It doesn't say they were high while they were driving, just drivers who used marijuana, which it's probably a pretty high percentage of the people in that state that use marijuana. And anyway, that's according to their governmental survey on such things, such as why we're going to try and make it seem like marijuana is a terrible, evil, rotten thing that if you smoke it, you're going to go out and kill people and do nasty things to them because we don't like you marijuana pothead type folk. Yeah, exactly. Like the Cobain report. Just make shit up and and then report it in a way that seems like, oh, that means 1 out of 5 people who killed somebody on the road. It doesn't even say they're the ones that killed them. They just were in fatal crashes. But it makes it seem like 20% of the deadly crashes are caused by people smoking weed, which is not what it says at all, but that's the way they try and make it sound. And anyway, there's that for you. Exciting, I know. Anyway, it's got to go on with some more music here for you all. Yeah, that's what I do on this show. So this song is... Oh, I hit the wrong thing there. Can't hit the wrong thing. All right, this song is called Killing Yourself to Live. Yep. Yeah, who are you? Who are you? Anyway, that's the Foo Fighters there with The Pretender for Beth Z. That's right. Beth Z requesting some hard rockin' tunage there from the Foo Fighters. All right. Before that, we had Joe Bonamassa and Tina Guo, Woke Up Dreaming, live from the Carnegie Hall CD there at Acoustic Evening. Great stuff there. If you like good music, anyway, it's great stuff. And apparently, I saw a bunch of guys here in the chat talking about it, probably oozing over Tina and her playing there. Maybe not her playing so much as Tina. Anyway, we kicked it off with Black Sabbath, Killing Yourself to Live. Women oozing too, and who could blame them? I mean, she's certainly gorgeous and highly talented. I'd like to hear her voice. That would be nice, but well, eventually, maybe. You never know. And I did not. Kate says she did the Wonder Woman video. So I've not seen anything like that. But I'll have to take a look, check that out at a later time, because that should be interesting. I would think, anyway. To me, sounds interesting. So, what is that? Oh, thanks, Kate. Well, I'll save that link. Oh, I don't even remember putting this one in there. When did I put this one in there? April 28th. Just a couple of days ago. April 28th of this year. Not like 4 years ago or anything. Although sometimes I do put in stuff and save it in there for a while. Let me load that over there on the other side so I can save it for later. Because what year? Oh, this year. Yeah, April 28th of this year. So what the hell did I do? I did something wrong. Copy. Paste. Oh, my little pasty thingy's not working. Sometimes I use this program. I don't know how familiar, or if you're at all familiar, any of y'all, with the program called Synergy Pro. But it's a program that I use for allowing me to use my mouse and keyboard on this computer on the other computer. And it's a great little program, but every now and then, for whatever reason, and I haven't figured it out, but the clipboard stops working. So if I copy something on here, I'm supposed to just be able to paste it over there. But sometimes it doesn't do it for me. And so all I have to do is stop the program and then restart it, and then I can do that. I can use it. So anyway, there's that. What do I want to do? I'm all confused now. I use clipboard a lot too. But it's great when I could clipboard from one machine to another, and also clipboard back. It works both. It's a bi-directional thing. There's that. Yeah, it's great if you have two computers up and running and you want to use them both at the same time, and you don't want to keep switching keyboards. That confuses the hell out of me. Using two keyboards, besides desk space, and everything's obviously at a premium wherever you are. All right, here's an article that I came across on thesun.co.uk, and I think, well, I'll just give you the article, and then you can tell me what you think. Frequency flyers, strange signals that appear to be coming from a star close to Earth may have been sent by aliens, scientists say. Astronomers picked up communications in May and have refused to rule out the possibility they were sent by extraterrestrials. Experts listening at the Arecibo Observatory were on a planet spotting mission when the strange pulses came over the radio between April and May. Stargazers have received some very peculiar signals while observing the distant dwarf star. I can almost talk. However, while boffins, I'm not sure what a boffin is, anyway, while boffins have not ruled out the possibility that the signals were produced by aliens, it's not currently the top theory about the origin. It wasn't until 2 weeks after the project finished that they noticed the strange signals, which came from Ross 128 GJ447, some 11 light years away, on the 12th of May. Ross 128 is a small red dwarf that is the 12th closest star to Earth, which makes it very close indeed when compared to the billions and billions of other suns out there. Side note here. Okay, most stars that I'm aware of out there, your astronomers, I say your, loosely, astronomers, scientists, whatever you want to call them, have named all of those stars, right? What's the name of the sun? Our sun? The sun that's up there in the middle of our solar system? Is there a name? Is there a numerical designation? Or is it just the sun? And if so, if that is the sun, then why do they refer to the star that has names given to it by these scientific goofballs by a name and a number, but when they're talking about in their solar system, they call it the sun of that solar system? And the same thing goes for the moon. Most of the other, even in our solar system, all of the planets have satellites floating around them that they call moons. But ours is just the moon. What's the deal with that? Our moon isn't deserving of its own name? Our sun? Anyway. So, billions and billions of other suns out there in the universe. We believe that those signals are not local radio interference, since they are unique to Ross 128, and observations of other stars immediately before and after did not show anything similar. Well, that kind of narrows it down then, don't it? The planetary astrobiologist and NASA fellow, who is based at the University of Puerto Rico, believes there could be 3 explanations for these strange noises. One possibility is a series of solar flare emissions from the star, which I'm not really buying because you know what solar flare emissions sound like and what kind of waves they put out. They could also be emissions from another object which is in the field of view of Ross 128. The third solution suggests we, as in Earth, might be to blame for it. Soaring space junk or a stray satellite may have burst onto the radar, Professor Mendez suggested. However, alien hunters will be pleased to learn it could be a bunch of extraterrestrials hoping to get in touch. Or maybe just one guy, one extraterrestrial. Yeah. A possibility Mendez said he could not rule out. But he was quick to point out was at the bottom of his list of many better explanations. Right, you just don't want to say there's aliens because you'll be blackballed from your scientific community. We know you really believe it's aliens. Anyway, therefore we have a mystery here, and 3 main explanations are as good as any at the moment. They were given extra time to observe the dwarf planet yesterday evening, but their findings have yet to be announced. The Puerto Rico Observatory is one of the world's largest. That's the Arecibo that you're all quite familiar with, I'm sure. Mispronouncing? Well, you know, I think there's another thing about the sun that I hesitate to mention. In this world we live in today, because if it's the son, isn't that sexist? Maybe it should be the daughter. They may make it so, or they'll come up with some kind of other gender neutral name for the sun, because sun, you know, even though it's not spelled the same as sun, you know, you're not smart enough to be able to differentiate between the sun and your son. And that is from thesun.co.uk. So, right. Oh, that is what happens. Exactly. I don't recall this song. I put it in the list a long time ago. And so I don't really recall it, but it is by Cobra and the Lotus. So I'm going to assume it's good, because, well, all the songs I know by Cobra and the Lotus are good. So we're going to just go ahead and play this here, and I'm going to say enjoy, and hopefully you will. Hopefully I will. It's called You Don't Know. The ever eclectic Tom Waits, The Earth Died Screaming. Before that, the Dropkick Murphys with The Boys Are Back. Not the other song, The Boys Are Back in Town, of course. This one is The Boys Are Back by Dropkick Murphys. Kicking it off there with Cobra and the Lotus, and You Don't Know. Tom is unique. That's putting it a little mildly. Yeah, Tom is Very, very unique. He's an interesting character. Whatever. I dig his music. He's like the coolest guy, you know. Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. Um, oh yeah, we'll play her. We'll play her. Why not? She deserves a slot in the old Balls to the Wall show, in my view. So we'll put her in there. And oh yeah, I'm going way back in time. Well, not way back, a few months back in time here. Um, yeah. All right. I just lost my spot. I was looking at something, and I looked away for like a flash of a second, quarter of a second, and I lost my spot where I was looking at. Oh, there it is. Okay. Do you want more of that? Yeah, we'll want more of that. We'll take more of that. Always more of that. All right. Okay. Where was I at? Oh, Bitcoin. Now, this week, Bitcoin's been through a journey. This week and last week, I guess I should say. From the $2,700 mark down to around the $1,800 mark. Maybe even a little less than the $1,800 mark. But back now almost or right at the $2,700 mark again. Anyway, earlier this week, this was yesterday? 2 days ago, this article came out. It's posted over on RT.com. John McAfee says, "I'll eat my dick on national TV if Bitcoin does not surpass $500,000 in 3 years." So he's given himself 3 years to avoid eating his own dick on national TV. I don't want to see it either. But now think of this: $2,700 right now per Bitcoin, up to $500,000. He better be ready. I mean, that's quite the thing. Anyway, John McAfee, the outspoken and at times controversial founder of the antivirus software company, which bears his name much to his chagrin at this point, is living up to his reputation with the outrageous online gambit on Bitcoin skyrocketing in value. Bitcoin's low of $1,800 yesterday, which was, like I said, it's gone beyond that now, simply could not be maintained for the long term. Bitcoin moves above $500,000 within 3 years. Bet, McAfee tweeted, and if it doesn't, I will eat my dick on national TV. This is about as bullish as one can find in the commodities markets, especially the notorious volatile cryptocurrency trade. For perspective, McAfee is hoping for a rise of 22,636%. 22,636% in 3 years in order to save his manhood. Bitcoin reached a high of 3,018 on June 11th, but recently took a severe beating, dropping back below $2,000 over the weekend before rebounding to 2,300 earlier this week, and now, like I said, back to 27. At the time of that writing, it stood at 2,384. The overall cryptocurrency market broke $80 billion on Tuesday, CoinDesk reported. Fundstrat's Tom Lee, known for his bearishness, had dubbed Bitcoin as the new gold, claiming that a price of $55,000 is possible by 2022. Cryptocurrencies are cannibalizing demand for gold, Lee wrote in an investor note cited in Business Insider. Bitcoin is arguably becoming the scarcer store of value. Investors need to identify strategies to leverage this potential rise in cryptocurrencies. Now, let me clarify that a little bit because it doesn't talk about it here in the article, but other places have talked about this. Bitcoin is huge amongst folks 30 and under, and much larger than gold is at this point in time amongst the 30 and under crowd. But of those, we'll just say 35 and up, giving a five-year gap there. 35 and up, gold is still the king as far as that kind of store of value goes. So you have to kind of look at it in different ways. How much are the folks that are under 30 actually investing at this point in time versus the older folk? Either way, McAfee's new company, MGTI Capital Investment Incorporated, has positioned itself as North America's largest Bitcoin miner. And the miners have a lot of say in what goes on. Way too much say for my liking. And it's expanding operations into cryptocurrencies. McAfee challenged all takers with outlandish bets, complete with a minimum buy-in of $100,000 to be held in escrow. Bitcoin, Ether, XRP all grew by more than 10% in one day, with Ether crossing the $200 mark for the first time since July 14th. Ether's been really volatile as well. The all-time high for the market was $115 billion, set back in the middle of June. So, cryptocurrencies are coming along. Ain't no doubt about that. But I have cryptocurrencies, some, yeah. But I just can't. I can't really. I still have my questions about the whole cryptocurrency market versus gold. Yeah, gold is something, and you can hold it in your hand, and it's shiny, and it feels good, and it's got uses. And silver's got thousands of uses, and it's wonderful. And Bitcoin is nothing but numbers. They're just numbers. It's a blockchain. But people they have value because people want them to have value, and not your central bankers. I'm sure they're working as hard as they can to figure out how they can control the market, the Bitcoin market. But I don't think they realize, or they haven't figured out a way to make that happen, because it's by nature decentralized. And nobody can control it. You can't just print a bunch of Bitcoins. That's not a possibility. They could come up with their own cryptocurrency that they could put a never-ending top on and create a whole bunch more whenever they wanted, or delete a whole bunch whenever they wanted. But they can't do that with Bitcoin, not the way it's created and the way it's been configured and set up. So if they want to have a digital currency, they're going to have to do something that people are not going to trust, just like we don't trust the banksters now with the paper money, with that fiat currency. You can't just create trillions of dollars of nothing and say, okay, that's your new cryptocurrency that you're going to believe in, rather than believing in Bitcoin, because people have seen what they can do on their own away from the control of those folk. So it'll be interesting watching going forward. But John, keep it in your pants. we don't want to see that. That would be bad. That would be wrong. That would be, yeah. Anyway. Yes, far less time than it took the automobile to make the horse and buggies obsolete. But people were skeptical at the same time about those. Yeah. So, anyway. Now, since you were talking about it, I decided to go ahead and play it. What do you call it? A request by Miss Beth Z from April. No, thank you, Joe. That's Joe Bonham also. That's amazing stuff there. It is a version of You Shook Me. Muddy Wolf at the Red Rocks concert and DVD there. Yeah, that's a great song. Anyway, before that, the multi-talented Orianthi doing Pride and Joy. Stevie Ray Vaughan's up Pride and Joy. They're in Nashville back in March of this year. Let's see, what was the show called? Skyville Live. I don't really know what where that concert was, but Orianthi is she's quite the talented young woman. How do you spell Orianthi? It's Orianthi. Orianthi. She does a lot of great rock and roll and blues, and she's played with a lot of people, and I don't know, she's really good on the guitar, and she's got a good voice, and she's good looking. All those features going for her. Anyway, we kicked it off with Amy Allen, Revolution, with some skate punks there, which they're never gonna be. Those kids will never be revolutionaries. Let me tell you that right now. Those skate punks in that video, they were skating to the Revolution song, but they're never going to be there. I pretty much guarantee you that. Oh, just my opinion, of course. I don't know those guys. Hell, they could be revolutionaries already for all I know. But I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, nah, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. So, yeah. Anyway, quit moving on me. Quit moving on me. Darn list started to scroll on me when I didn't want it to. Sometimes it does that. Where did I lose my spot here? I lost my spot again. I keep doing that. And oh, here it is. Here's the one I was looking for. An old Moose Girl request from March. Yeah, well. That happens. All right. Yeah, I dig back deeper in the list on these Balls to the Walls show than I do on the Freakers. Anyway, let's look at this article that Rob Works posted before he zonked out for the night, because I got to see what this is about. I don't know. State snatches kids because parents' IQs are too low. Now, I've got to ask, first off, before even reading the article, who's doing the snatching of the kids? It's probably the cops, right? And we know the cops are pretty damn stupid, and probably a lot of them have kids. So who's snatching the cop kids if the cops are the ones snatching other people's kids? Because obviously the cops are stupider, have lower IQs, excuse me. I mean, say that right. More stupider. Anyway, are not as intelligent as probably a lot of the people's kids that they're snatching. Anyway, this article is on offthegridnews.com. I think Rob posted it from Government Slaves. Whatever. Anyway, let's see what this says here. In a controversial move that is gaining national attention, first I've heard of it, state social workers in Oregon took a couple's children away because their IQs are lower than average. What is average? Anyway, Amy Fabrini and Eric Ziegler can only see their children in chaperoned visits because the Oregon Department of Health, which is a pretty low IQ organization of itself, Oregon Department of Human Services, thinks they are not smart enough to be parents. As far as I know, there is no anything, any kind of rules as to what it is to be a parent. There's nothing written anywhere. Anyway, they are saying they are intellectually incapable without guidelines to go by. Shireen Hagenbach, who no comment, who formerly worked as a volunteer mediator for DHS and knows the couple, told the Oregonian. Social workers took 3-year-old son Christopher and a baby named Hunter away earlier this year, the Oregonian reported. DHS cited Ziegler's IQ of 66 and Fabrini's IQ of 72. That's pretty low for the removal. The average IQ, there it is between 90 and 100, which is pretty low. Anyway, no allegations of abuse or neglect have been made. Instead, they're limited cognitive abilities that interfere with their ability to safely parent the child was cited as the reason for removal. Fabrini and Ziegler have done everything the social workers asked. They took classes on parenting, first aid, CPR, nutrition, and yet their children are still in a foster home. It doesn't seem like it's good enough for them, Ziegler said. We're saying, who would parent Christopher better than the foster parents or the real parents? This is basically what's going on. Hagenbach, who supports the parents, said they're saying this foster care provided is better for the children because she can provide more financially, or provide better education, things like that. If we're going to get on that train, Bill Gates should take my children. Yeah, well, he'd just euthanize them. Yeah, I don't think that's really the direction you want to go. There's always somebody better than us, so it's a very dangerous position to be in. Not even State Senator Tim Knopp could help. He backs the couple. My impression of them is that they were just like any other couple. They were trying to be successful in life, just like anyone else would be, and they wanted to be together as a family, Knopp said. I didn't see any issues when I met them, and it would automatically disqualify them from being good parents, said Ziegler's Aunt Lara Turner. Honestly, I don't understand why they can't have their children. I go to the grocery store, I see other people with their kids, and they're standing up in the grocery cart, and I think, how come they get to keep their kids? How do they decide whose children they're going to take and whose child they could stay? All I got to say is you're probably voters, and you probably voted for some of the people that appointed this group of folk to do these nasty things to you and your family. I mean, obviously this is craziness. This is insanity. I can't imagine. They did nothing to the kids. They did everything that the people asked. The kids were apparently well cared for. They were going to whatever the schools were that they're supposed to go to get indoctrinated into the government system, and there was nothing. I mean, there was no abuse. It didn't say anything about that. It didn't say they were not well maintained in any manner. I just don't see anything. It's a pretty weird story, if you ask me. This can't be the end of this. And I think I saw that Beth said that the one kid was back with them, Hunter. But what gives the state the right in the first place? Of course, liberal do-gooders. Yeah, if that's doing good. Oh, God. Well, some of y'all out there got dogs. I know I know that Kate has dogs. I know that Chloe has dogs, and sometimes you have to do something. You have to go away. Oh, nice. Carlos was yesterday, huh? Great. Anyway, so some of y'all got dogs out there, and you know, sometimes you got to go and do something where the dogs can't come along with you. And so sometimes you'll maybe have a friend or a neighbor or somebody take care of those dogs for you. But apparently, if you live in New York City, no more. Not unless you take them to a government-approved kennel. That's right. Stop that. Quit that over there. New York City law that makes dog sitting illegal without kennel license triggers rage from pet lovers. Pet lovers are barking mad over a little-known city rule that makes dog sitting illegal in New York. Health Department rules. What does this got to do with anything? Health Department rules ban anyone from taking money to care for an outside licensed kennel. Maybe you could do it for free, but that's not the way it's being read here. The department has warned a popular pet sitting app that its users are breaking the law. So apparently there's an app probably like an Uber for pets or something like that. The laws are antiquated, said Chad Bacon, 29 years old, dog sitter in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, with the app Rover. If you're qualified and able to provide a service, I don't think you should be penalized or prevented, for that matter. You should not have to need government approval. Rover, exactly, Kate, that's what I said it was here. Thank you for that. Bacon, a former zookeeper and wildlife researcher, signed up for the app to help make ends meet while he was between jobs, but did enough business that he now makes a living from it full time. I was looking at it as a way to pay bills in the meantime, he said. It's become a full-time job. The health code bans boarding, feeding, and grooming animals for a fee without a kennel license. So I guess you can do it for free. It doesn't say you can't do it for free. Anyway, and those licenses can't be issued to private homes. Rover hopes to get the law overturned, potentially setting up another tech battle like the city had with Uber and Airbnb. So I don't know, man. They're just crazy fucks, and anything they can do to sneak their fucking noses into your life, that's what they're going to do. Absolutely disgusting, if you ask me. Which I didn't see anybody asking me. Anyway. Yeah, and they do. I mean, they do the same thing for like hair cutting or what do you call those, manicures, those kind of things, or anything that you want to do, unless you have a government tag that says, okay, you can do this. The government wants to say you can't do it, and that's a load of bullshit. Weed delivery. Oh, that sounds like a good job. Imagine the tips. Just imagine the tips being a weed delivery guy. All right. Oh. All right, we're gonna I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna raise a little hell. That's what we're gonna do. Oh boy, Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band. Oops, I almost got lost there. Anyway, that was Whiskey in the Jar by Thin Lizzy, their version of that song, and not a bad version at all. Actually, very nice. I like it. It's certainly not up to Metallica quality. That was a Hansel request there for that version of Whiskey in the Jar. I like the Grateful Dead's version. There's plenty of other good ones out there, but very nice, very enjoyable. Anyway, before that was the Nimmo Brothers live at the Blues Moose Cafe over there in the Netherlands, doing the Allman Brothers One Way Out. Excellent stuff there. Those Nimmo Brothers, they can play those guitars, boy. Let me tell you. And we kicked it off with the Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band doing Raise a Little Hell. So hopefully you enjoyed those particular tracks that I played. Now let's get on down to the bottom of the list here and see what we got that's more recent. So, yeah, here's a kind of the deal here is I didn't know until yesterday that Moose Girl wasn't going to be around for this week, so I didn't really put too many balls to the wall type songs in my list for this week, but that's all right. I can make do with the list that I got and try and come up with various cool trackages. I think I like to plan ahead for those times she's not going to be around, but don't always get the opportunity. You know, sometimes it's the same day rather than the day before that I hear that she's not going to be here. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. My pleasure indeed, Mr. Cowboy Technico. Oh, boy. The Ball Man. The Ball Man? Let's not go down that road. Oh, boy. Anyway. So I thought she was going to do a festival next week. So if she does, then I guess we'll have to get that information early. Make sure if that's going to happen or not, man. Well, thanks, Juana, and Cowboy Flash, all y'all, and thank you, Hans. Thank you, Hans, for that request. Even though it was a number of months ago, still works. Now, I came across this story some while ago, and I forgot. It was buried deep in the, we'll call it pocket, although it's not what it is. But it was buried deep in my list of stuff to read later list. And I don't think I've ever talked about it here on the show or any of the shows. So here it is for you. 30-day notice. That's going to be impossible, Flash. Anyway, I'll be glad with 3 days, if I could do that. But one day's kind of tight in order to. Anyway, whatever. I didn't really think about it or plan for it, so we got what we got. Anyway, so at Cal State, algebra is a civil rights issue. Say what now? This is from edsource.org. The next civil rights court battle for California higher education may be about algebra. Civil rights, algebra. California State University is finalizing a new system-wide math policy as part of an initiative to increase graduation rates and address equity gaps. I can see that they maybe don't want some people, or allow some people not to take algebra to increase their graduation rates, which means that they've lowered their standards. But equity gaps, I don't think so. Anyway, a recent move by CSU affecting students transferring from community colleges threatens to undermine college efforts to do the same. The culprit is intermediate algebra, a high school level course of technical procedures. No, it's math. That most college students will never use. Why not? They should be. Either in college or in life. No, they should be using this in life. Anyway, many students pass a course on this content in high school. Exactly. But when they arrive at community college, more than 80% are required to take remedial courses repeating the material if they don't score high enough on a standardized test, meaning they didn't learn it in their high school. They were tested wrong. Somehow something happened and they didn't learn their freaking algebra in high school, and so when they try and take it in college, they're not good enough. They can't get there. The problem is most community college students don't take just one remedial course. To meet the intermediate algebra standard, they're often required to take 2 years of remedial courses that don't count for transfer credit. It's a remedial course. Why should it count for transfer credit? By contrast, a CSU student who is required to take remedial math at CSU does not have to demonstrate intermediate algebra competency in order to take credit-bearing math courses. Of course, they'll probably never pass those courses if they didn't take the freaking pass the algebra in the first place. As a result, every year, more than 170,000 California community college students are placed into remedial math based on how well they do on standardized tests in algebra. Over 110,000 of them never complete math requirements for getting an associate degree. Well, they probably shouldn't have the associate degree if they can't do the freaking math for transferring to CSU or the University of California. About 80% of African Americans required to take more than one remedial class in math do not complete their math requirements within 6 years. Holy hell! Compared to 67% of Hispanics and 61% of whites. No matter how you slice that, it's not good for any of them for not being able to do this math. Anyway, some CSU faculty and system leaders suggest that the system's intermediate algebra remediation policies support equity because intermediate algebra is necessary for the STEM majors, which is, science, technology, I don't even know what STEM stands for, something like that. Anyway, requiring it ensures the students of color are not tracked away from lucrative majors. What these educators don't appear to realize is that the same policies track many capable students, especially students of color attending community colleges, away from competing college degree at all. Why is this a civil rights legal problem for state higher education rather than just a polity for social justice? A problem for social justice? I don't know. You're totally losing me here on this. Here's the thing. This is logical thinking. Logical fucking thinking. That's all there is to it. It's not... There's nothing involved except logical thinking. If you teach people logical thinking, they'll understand the math. But you don't do that. You don't do that in your government indoctrination centers. You hate people that can actually think in a logical manner because they're going to realize what you're doing to them. And forget critical thinking. That's not even addressed. But for math, it's all about logical thinking. And I'm telling you, if you can't do it, you're not going to do well in life. It's never an easy path for anybody that does not have some level of logic in their head. And I know it's easy for me to say because I'm basically an android myself, but holy hell, I don't get it. I'm missing something big here. I'm missing. No, it's not sci-fi or comedy. It's they're serious about this, and you know they got. I don't know, man. I wish it was comedy. I wish that they weren't serious about this, but they are. They are. They're deadly serious about this, and it's a sad, sad thing. Anyway, that being said, oh God, I guess that leads right into this next song. The song is titled "Don't Believe a Word," and I think that's a good thing. Don't believe a word that comes out of the mouths of these morons that are trying to dumb your asses down. It's not going to help you get through life. You get out there in the real world, they tell you, you don't need to know this to get through life. No, maybe you don't if you're working at McDonald's and they got pictures of the food on the thing, but robots are taking those jobs. They don't need you anymore. So, anyway, this is Gary Moore and Thin Lizzy. That's right. Open your damn eyes. See the lies right in front of you. That is the Lords of the New Church right there. With Open Your Eyes. Yes, indeed. Great album, great band for a very short while. Anyway, before that we had the Safaris with Wipeout. Good surf tune. And we kicked it off with Gary Moore and Thin Lizzy and Don't Believe a Word. So tomorrow, some of the normal stuff will not be there for you. Was I going to say? Oh, that's right. The dork table will not be on tomorrow because Grammy is off doing stuff with grandkids somewhere. I think she's actually doing it at home, but that's all right. She won't be available for the show. Moose Girl won't be available for the show because she's where she is at a concert thing. What do you call it? A festival. Bluegrass festival. So she won't be around. And Flash told me in no uncertain terms earlier that he doesn't do solo shows. He's not a solo act. So there's that on that. So he won't be around. Kira will be on at 4 Eastern time with her show, Be on the Bridge with Kira. Now, Bo Diddy last week, he messaged me, PM'd me on, where were they at? Oh, on Skype. I have to get on Skype when Kira comes on. And told me that his computer was in the shop and he wouldn't be on until it got fixed. Now, I don't know what was wrong with it or how long he plans on having it in the shop or if it's still there or not. But if it is not out of the shop yet, then, and I have not seen him on the Freedoms Network, which is not really all that strange. So if it's not done, then he won't be on either tomorrow. So it's possible the only show you'll have tomorrow will be Kira at 4. I will be on Sunday morning with my regular blues show here on Real Liberty Media or RLM Radio. So look forward to that. Yes. And then Hal Anthony will be on at his normal time, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon o'clock Pacific, with Behind the Woodshed opening up his big old can of whoop ass that he does. And Gary L. and Gigi's Boo will be on at their normal time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, for their 1-hour show called The Road Less Traveled. So look forward to all those shows and I don't know, maybe something else. I don't know what else. Something else. Anyway, I'm gonna play one more set here, and I'll be back after this. Don't you worry, kids. Yeah. So this first track, I only play this because a couple of days ago was supposedly Moon Day, the day that humanoids landed on the moon. Bam! That is Spiderbait with their little biker music video version of Black Betty. Before that, Creedence Clearwater Revival, or CCR, with Before You Accuse Me, an old blues standard. T-Rex for the Cowboy Tech with Get It On back in 1971, and quite well played it out there in the chat. Where the hell's the gong? Anyway, bang a gong, get it on. Yeah, well, what happened? And we kicked it off with We Are on the Fucking Moon. For all you moon believers, moon landing believers. Anyway, that'll do it. I'll be back on Sunday with blues, and again next Friday night with either the Freakers Ball or more Balls to the Wall. Like I said, I'm not sure, but Goose Girl may be going out of town. So that'll do her. Peace.